Well, I'm here at Sierra Motorsports in Grass Valley, California, our local KTM dealer, and finally, after a 10-year wait, the first of the fuel-injected two-cycle, two-stroke enduro bikes are in stock. The 2018 250 TPI XC-W. Let's take a closer look and see how this works. Now, if you grew up on motorcycles in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you rode a lot of two-stroke motorcycles, a lot of two-stroke junk as well. But now, in order to save the two-stroke motorcycle from the enhanced emissions that are coming out of both Europe and California, they're going to have to change it up to a fuel-injected system. Carbureted two-strokes work excellent, but they need to be constantly adjusted for altitude. You've got to constantly be fiddling with the jets in order to get your optimum performance from your two-stroke machine. Fuel injection takes care of all of that. And the best thing about fuel injection, in my opinion, is that it takes care of altitude for you, especially density altitude. Air temperature and air pressure are all compensated for in these fuel-injected bikes. So when you're riding out west up and down these huge mountains going from 2,000 feet to 12,000 feet, it's all taken care of by fuel injection. And if you're like me, you probably never quite got your two-stroke motorcycle completely dialed in with the carburetor system. According to reports in the field, these new fuel-injected two-stroke machines are like riding a perfectly dialed in two-stroke machine at all altitudes. One of the main advantages of two-stroke machines over four-cycle machines, a two-stroke, because it's firing every time the piston reaches the top, can produce nearly 50% more power than a similar four-stroke machine. Less moving parts, higher performance, lighter weight. I currently ride a 2013 350 EXCF, the four-stroke, fuel-injected KTM, and after, well, since 2013 and over 10,000 miles, have not had one bit of problem with the fuel injection, and the fueling has always been absolutely spot on for every altitude and every temperature. And this is why KTM has taken 10 years of research and development before releasing these transfer port fuel-injected bikes, to get the product spot on before they release it to the market. Again, here in the US, only the 250s are available. 300 should be available next year. The engine management system, along with the ECU, works to not only manage your fuel control, but also automatic oil injection. No longer do you got to pre-mix your fuel. So now you pour your pre-mix oil of your choice right into here in the top of the frame, and it's stored in this tank right forward of the shock. The ECU is then able to inject the oil separately from the fuel right in to the top of the crankcase or the bottom of the piston and inject just the amount of oil that's needed. This allows you to operate a much leaner fuel oil mixture, upwards of 80 to 1. The engine management system takes 5 different inputs: intake air temperature, intake air pressure, throttle position, crank position, and coolant temperature, to help determine the exact amount of fuel mixture needed and oil mixture as well. So this is your 39mm Delordo throttle body, and this is your idle adjustment. Out of the bottom of the fuel tank is your fuel boost pump, providing your fuel pressure. Right in here is a quick disconnect fitting to get to your fuel filter. Inside of here is a T-fitting where it splits into 2 separate transfer port injectors. And here's the transfer port injector on the right-hand side of the motor. Why do they go with a transfer port injector rather than direct injection? It's simply too hard to get direct injection into a high-speed two-stroke motorcycle and get the fuel atomization desired. By injecting the fuel directly into the transfer ports, they're able to get the desired fuel atomization. So with the use of fuel injection, you're able to realize a 40% savings in fuel at low throttle settings. You're still burning the same amount of fuel at high throttle settings, and overall you're still realizing the same horsepower as the carbureted bike. Just better fueling throughout the entire throttle range. And at what cost? Only $300 more than the carbureted version and about 5 pounds additional weight. Some of the other changes necessary to make all this happen is a redesigned frame to allow for the oil injection, a redesigned air box to work with the Delorto throttle body, and a slightly bigger generator to keep all the electrics working. Other than that, the fuel-injected models have the same great suspension and Brembo brakes, WP suspension as the carbureted bikes. No big changes there. Top-of-the-line stuff. 2018 250 TPI XC-W. Fuel injection for two-cycle motorcycles hopefully will save the class for years to come from ever-increasing emissions control standards.